Top 10 symptoms of a failing starter motor and how to fix. A starter motor is an electric motor that is used to start a car's engine. It is typically located near the bottom of the engine and is connected to the flywheel or flex plate via a small gear known as the starter pinion. When you turn the key in the ignition, the starter motor is activated and it turns the engine over until it starts running on its own. Once the engine is running, the starter motor disengages from the flywheel or flex plate and stops turning. When you turn the key in the ignition, an electrical signal is sent to the starter solenoid, which is a switch that controls the flow of electricity to the starter motor. The solenoid then engages a small gear called the starter pinion with the flywheel or flex plate, which is attached to the engine. As the starter pinion turns, it rotates the engine's crankshaft, which in turn causes the pistons to move up and down and start the combustion process. The starter motor itself is powered by a battery, which provides a high current of electricity to the motor's windings. These windings create a strong magnetic field that interacts with the starter pinion's gear teeth and causes it to rotate. Once the engine starts running, a separate mechanism called an overrun clutch disengages the starter pinion from the flywheel or flex plate and prevents the starter motor from continuing to turn. Here are the top symptoms of a failing starter motor. 1. Clicking sound when turning the key. This is a common symptom of a failing starter motor. It indicates that the starter solenoid is engaging but the starter motor is not turning. To fix this, you need to check the battery and the connections to make sure they are functioning correctly. If the battery is good, then the starter motor may need to be replaced. 2. Grinding noise when starting. If you hear a grinding noise when starting your vehicle, it could be a sign that the starter motor is failing. This noise occurs when the starter gear is not engaging properly with the flywheel. The solution is to replace the starter motor. 3. Slow cranking. If your engine cranks slowly when starting, it could be due to a failing starter motor. This occurs when the starter motor is not receiving enough power from the battery. Check the battery and connections to see if they need to be replaced or cleaned. 4. Freewheeling. If you turn the key and hear a high-pitched whine, it could be a sign that the starter motor is freewheeling. This means that the starter gear is not engaging with the flywheel, and the motor is spinning freely. This can be caused by worn-out teeth on the flywheel or a faulty starter motor. The solution is to replace the starter motor. 5. Smoke coming from the starter. If you see smoke coming from the starter motor, it could be due to an electrical short or a damaged winding inside the motor. This can cause the motor to overheat and fail. The solution is to replace the starter motor. 6. Starter motor does not engage. If you turn the key and nothing happens, it could be due to a faulty starter motor. This can be caused by a bad solenoid or a broken wire. Check the connections and wiring to see if they need to be repaired or replaced. 7. Flickering lights. If the lights on your dashboard flicker when you turn the key, it could be a sign that the starter motor is failing. This is because the motor is drawing too much power from the battery. Check the battery and connections to see if they need to be replaced or cleaned. 8. Noisy starter motor. If the starter motor is making a loud noise when starting your vehicle, it could be due to worn-out bearings or a damaged armature. This can cause the motor to fail. The solution is to replace the starter motor. 9. Intermittent starting. If your vehicle starts sometimes but not others, it could be due to a failing starter motor. This can be caused by a faulty solenoid or a damaged armature. Check the connections and wiring to see if they need to be repaired or replaced. 10. Dead battery. If your battery is constantly dying, it could be due to a failing starter motor. This is because the motor is drawing too much power from the battery. Check the battery and connections to see if they need to be replaced or cleaned. There are several reasons why a starter motor can fail, including 1. Wear and tear. Over time, the components of the starter motor can wear out and fail. 2. Electrical issues. loose or corroded electrical connections can cause the starter motor to malfunction or fail. 3. Overheating. Cranking the engine for an extended period of time can cause the starter motor to overheat and fail. 4. Low voltage. A weak or dead battery can put additional strain on the starter motor, causing it to wear out faster. 5. Contamination. Dirt, debris, or other contaminants can get inside the starter motor and cause it to malfunction or fail. 6. Manufacturing defects. In some cases, a starter motor may have a manufacturing defect that causes it to fail prematurely. It's important to properly maintain your vehicle's starter motor to prevent premature failure and ensure reliable starting. Proper maintenance of your vehicle's starter motor can help prevent premature failure and ensure reliable starting. Here are some tips on how to care for your starter motor. 1. Keep the battery in good condition. A weak or dead battery can put additional strain on the starter motor, causing it to wear out faster. Make sure your battery is fully charged and in good working condition. 2. Check the electrical connections. Loose or corroded electrical connections can cause the starter motor to malfunction or fail. Check the connections at the battery, starter solenoid, and starter motor for signs of corrosion or looseness. 3. Use the right type of oil. Using the wrong type of oil can cause excess wear on the engine, which can in turn put additional strain on the starter motor. Make sure you're using the recommended type of oil for your vehicle. 4. Don't crank the engine for too long. Cranking the engine for an extended period of time can cause the starter motor to overheat and fail. If the engine doesn't start after a few seconds of cranking, give it a rest before trying again. 5. Avoid jump starting. Jump starting your vehicle can put additional strain on the starter motor, especially if it's done frequently. If possible, use a battery charger to recharge a dead battery instead of jump starting. 6. Have the starter motor inspected regularly. If you notice any signs of trouble with your starter motor, such as slow cranking or unusual noises, have it inspected by a professional mechanic. Regular inspections can help catch problems before they become serious. That's all we have for you in today's video. It's very good to have you here on our channel. If you liked the video, please smash the like button and do consider subscribing if you haven't already. We hope to see you soon with another video. Until then, stay safe.